The Mike Wagner Show is powered by Sonic Web Studios.
Hi, this is Mia Mosinzia, also known as Mia No Time for Love. Check out my latest book, Missing, available in print and ebook formats on Amazon.
It's now time for the Mike Wagner Show, powered by Sonic Web Studios and sponsored by international award-winning author Mia Mosinzia of Missing. The Mike Wagner Show can be heard on over 40 podcast platforms, as well as hamiltonradio.net, Diamonds FM, and the MikeWagnerShow.com. We can be heard in over 100 countries, featuring over 1,000 well-known and amazing guests throughout the globe. And named one of the top 100 global podcasts in the New York Weekly Times, Hollywood Entertainment News, Los Angeles Weekly Times, Apple, and Chartable. So sit back and relax and enjoy another great episode of the award-winning Mike Wagner Show.
Hey everybody, it's Mike from the Mike Wagner Show, powered by Sonic Web Studios and brought to you by official sponsor of the Mike Wagner Show, international warring author Mia Mosinzia Missing, available on Amazon and paperback and ebook. We're here with a terrific gentleman who's a singer-songwriter from Campoca, California, doubling as a real estate owner and agent. He also formed a band, which basically in late 2013 as an outlet for various musicians to be involved in a number of projects called Tourists, a short story set to country, rock, and Americana, and a dedicated following on Spotify, YouTube, Facebook, and more. And he's also got a new album out called Again, featuring 10-Wheel Bus, the title track, Take Off My Boots, and more. And what is this about? We'll find out just 1 minute. Live, ladies and gentlemen, at Plus Studios. He's currently out of his studios right now, but he's generally around San Diego, California. The amazing singer-songwriter doubling as a real estate owner and real estate agent from Campo, California. He formed a band called Redcrowntourists in late 2013 as an outlet to have various musicians on board to be known as Tourists. And he's got a new album released called Again, featuring title track and more. Ladies and gentlemen, from the Redcrowntourists, the multi-talented Mell Scheer. Mell, good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Thanks for joining us today.
Hey, nice to be here. Thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
Well, it's great to have you on board, Mel. So you're part of the Redcrowntourists. I guess you can say I'm a tourist, right? I have to hop on your tour bus or something.
Well, the idea of Redcrowntourists was one day I was watching TV and there used to be these Red Crown tourist courts is what they call them. They were motels, motor hotels. You could rent it and park your car. And Bonnie and Clyde, I think, got caught there. And so I got to thinking about red crown, what it means. And the Lord wore a red crown of thorns. And if you're a believer, we're just tourists here, just passing through. So back, I think 2013 is when I formulated the idea, and I've trademarked it and done all that. So anybody who has ever contributed to any of my songs in any way, shape, or form, I consider them just tourists. And it's not a religious type of thing. I don't really, sing religious songs, but through the training, through the years, it just comes out in, the stories and things that I tell. So that's kind of the idea behind Redcrowntourists. In fact, I just lost a tourist, if you want to put it that way. One of the background singers on a song I did, Take Me Back to Yesterday. She passed away this morning. She had a beautiful voice. Her name's Peggy Stewart.
Oh my God, she's so sorry.
She's home now, so she's not a tourist anymore, right? So,
well, I guess she got sent to the upper deck where you get the real view of everything. So yeah,
God needed those pipes back. He's like, I need you up here, dear. Come on.
Exactly. There you go. And of course, you're also a real estate owner as well too. And tell us how you first got started as well.
In music or real estate?
You can do both. So whatever you feel comfortable with.
So I was originally I started playing music, kind of have something to do. I had 4 kids, raising a family, worked hard as a sales guy. And so I just started getting together with some chums and we started playing and I had a real desire to create. And so I learned a bunch of music theory and all yada, yada. And I started to listen to songs, how they're written. And so I took my first stab at it and I put an album out, I think in 2006. That one's called So What We Tried is the title track. and very eclectic. I was listening to it last night, and you know, you get better as a musician. You're like, man, I'd really like to go back and re-record that album, but there's too many songs to write. There's just a good demo right now. If I ever want to, tap into that, I'll just relearn them and replay them. And then I took a break, and then just this last year, I've been playing in country cover bands out here, and I said, you know what, I'm tired of playing cover music only. I want to create again. So I wrote an album last year, and has 9 songs on it, and they're good songs, good stories. I like to write stories to songs, So and so I tracked everything, and that means I layered it in the studio, and I had various musicians contribute to it. All the guitar work is by a guy named Jamie Kime in LA. He's a very, very, very good guitar player. Plays with Zappa, Ricky Valley, and all those guys. And so he's always been the one that has done all the guitar tracks, and that makes them sound pretty good because it's all pro work. I do the bass on it. I write the songs, and I sing them, write the lyrics. And then the drums, my engineer does drums. He trained out of Berkeley School of Music, owns a studio called Double Time. So I'll go in with an idea, with an acoustic guitar, and I'll scratch it out to a click track, and he'll lay the drums down. Then I'll do the bass, and then I'll do a scratch vocal, and we'll send it out to Jamie, and he'll do the guitars. And as things formulate, I'll eventually do a real vocal track and bring the backups in, pedal steel, start adding on. It's like baking a cake. Eventually you put the sprinkles and the cherries on it. So it's kind of my process there.
Uh-huh. It sounds amazing too. I can use a cake right now the way you describe it. And you talk about some of the songs that you write, like short stories, set to Americana, country rock, and everything like that. And maybe talk about some of the stories you've written as well too. And what inspired you to write some of the stories as well?
It just depends. Like I just wrote kind of I had a situation happen with somebody. I had an adult conversation with somebody, and I expected it to stay between us, but it went viral. I didn't say it; they did, and then because of that, it turned into a big fiasco. I just stayed silent and watched people operate, and got to see who they were really about. So I wrote that song pretty much based on a true experience called "Cutting You Loose." That's coming out on a new album I'm putting out, and that one's called "West of Nashville," that I should be putting out anywhere from probably in November. I want to get it out by the end of the year so I can submit it to awards and stuff. So that one's based on truth. The "You Should Go Home" that everybody's playing right now, it was just based on a conversation I had with a gal in one of the clubs we were playing, and she just said, I've been married since I was 16. I love my husband. I'd never cheat or anything, but I'm just curious. And so that stuck in my mind, and so I just wrote this fictional story about this guy that liked to sleep with women and meets her, and he could, but he decides not to because he knows that she loves her husband. So he says, you should go home before I do what I do. So he's kind of a hero in a way, but that's all fiction. The only truth about that song is just she was married since she was 16. That's the true statement, but the rest of it's all fiction. So that's what happens. I'll come up, and I wrote that song in 2 hours driving to a gig. And usually when I write, it's easier for me just to think of the words in my head, because then I can work out the rhythms. If I write it on paper, then if I make a mistake, I got to scratch out and go back, and then I got to memorize.
I sometimes do that. You write on paper, and the next day, like, what the heck did I just write?
Exactly. But if I because I can hear the song in my head, I can't, really hear it. It's just an imagination thing, but I can hear the rhythms, and it's easier to pull the words, and that word's not going to work, this one. And usually I'll have the whole thing memorized by the time I do that. And it's just so much easier because I don't have to look for papers and, what did I mean by that?
Or you can still write on napkins like most famous singers do. They find a napkin and write it on there.
Usually if I do that, it's just an idea. Like I'll be somewhere and I'll hear a phrase and I'll think that'd that'd be a good idea for a song. And so I'll just write it down, put it in my pocket, but and then revisit it later. But yeah, so that's kind of my process, how I do things.
Okay.
I don't even know if I answered your question. I got to yapping.
No, you did a pretty good job on that one too. And then we'll go over some of the songs. And who are some of your favorite singers, songwriters, and musicians growing
up? I would say singer-songwriters, the two that, off the top of my head, that I love to listen to is Lucinda Williams and John Hyatt. They just write songs, you know, they're commercially, they've been successful, but I don't think they write for the radio, you know, but they write for a lot of other people, like Bonnie Raitt, I think, used one of John Hyatt's songs. And that was, I think he said that at a concert I saw, that was his first hit as a writer. And that got him in full-time into the music business. So those are the two, but I have a lot of music groups and stuff that I've been influenced by: Frank Zappa, Tears for Fears, Leonard Skinner, Outlaws, you know, all the stuff from the 70s, you know, even R&B. I love R&B. I love one of my favorite bass players, James Jamerson, Gail Ann Dorsey, who played for, she's a great bass player, played for David Bowie, and also Tears for Fears. So I'm real eclectic in my musical influences. Love 80s power pop, you know, and T-Rex. A lot of people haven't heard of T-Rex, but that group was super good. I love their rhythms, you know, they had a lot of cool rhythms. They were kind of the ones that started the glamour rock, you know.
Oh, the glam rock, yeah. And I think that also preceded by David Bowie took the next level. And I think there was Gary Glitter, and of course, you know, Kiss put on the glam and everything like that. So it's like, that's one part of Americana nobody will ever forget, I'll tell you that. So once I can,
Boland was very flamboyant, you know, and he wore the feathers and everything, and that no one had ever seen that before, you know. Had the Beatles, and then that stuff started coming. So I just like, I have like anybody, I have a bunch of influences. And
And certainly you've got influences, and you also put them to good use. And one day, you know, you could be their influence as well, too. You got the album again, featuring the title track, 10-Wheel Bus, Take Off My Boots, and more with redcrowntourists, Mellschear. But first, listen to the Mike Wagner Show at the MikeWagnerShow.com, powered by Sonic Web Studios. Visit online at SonicWebStudios.com for all your needs. Looking at a professional website without breaking your budget? Sonic Web Studios is the answer. Sonic Web Studios offers fast, affordable custom web designs that blow the competition away. Call today, 1-800-303-3960. It's 1-800-303-3960, or email to support@sonicwebstudios.com. Mention the Mike Wagner Show, get 20% off your first project. Sonic Web Studios, take your image to the next level. Also, time to give official shout out to our official sponsor of the Mike Wagner Show, international warring author Mia Mulsanzia. If you love fast-paced mysteries, you'll love Missing by Mia Mulsanzia, available on Amazon in paperback and ebook. Missing is fast-paced and intriguing with an unforgettable twist. Takes place in 4 countries, 2 strangers, 1 target, where truth is illusion and those who love be the first go missing. It's available on Amazon in paperback and ebook. Missing by Mia Mulsanzia has garnered great reviews in E11, endorsed by Howard celebrities including Joanna Cassidy, Forge Riley, and Nails. So grab your copy today for Girls Missing by Mia Mulsanzia, available on Amazon. Also, check out the Mike Wagner Show at the MikeWagnerShow.com, or 40 podcast platforms, heard in 100 countries, including Facebook, SoundCloud, Spreaker, Spotify, iHeartRadio, also Anchor FM, Odyssey, Apple Music, BitChute, Rumble, YouTube. Make sure you subscribe. Also, Pandora and Podbean, and follow us on Instagram, LinkedIn, Twitter, TikTok, Facebook, and more. Take us with you on any mobile device. And for great gift ideas, go to Amazon.com. Check out the Mike Wagner Show podcast. T-shirts, pop sockets, throw pillows, tote bags, hoodies, makes great gifts 24/7. Go to Amazon.com. Check out the Mike Wagner Show podcast. And for more great gift ideas, go to Amazon.com/Mia Mulsanzia for great books like Missing, Once, and Wrinkles. Also t-shirts, pop sockets, hoodies, phone cases, and more. Amazon.com/Mia Mulsanzia. Check it out today and support the Mike Wagner Show on Anchor FM, PayPal, and the MikeWagnerShow.com. You're with the multi-talented singer-songwriter who doubles as a real estate agent and owner from Campo, California, redcrown tourist Mell Scheer here on the Mike Wagner Show. And looks like you've been on tour yourself, a little vacationing here and there, and you've got the album called, again, featuring the title track, 10-Wheel Bus, Take Off My Boots, and If We Could, and more. And If We Could Only Dance, and tell us about some of those songs as well and what inspired you to write them.
If We Could Only Dance, I was playing a cover gig at a bar, and one of these gals that used to follow us around just got me off to the side one night and just said, I think you're a great guy. I think we could be a good item and all that. And I'm a married man, so I was just kind of listening to her, and I was, when a woman says that, and she didn't do it in a bad way. She was just, I guess she thought there was an opening or something. And, we talked about it a little bit. And so I just got to thinking about it. And I thought, well, if we could only dance, if we could only hold each other, if we could only waltz around the room like friends and not lovers, I'd ask you to dance every time that I saw you. Which implies that that's why I don't ask you to dance. Just needs to be friends, right? Or, so it kind of turned into this waltzy thing. And so it's kind of a neat little story. And in there, she knows that he'd never crossed that line, and they're just buddies, really, is what it is. Maybe in another time, another lifetime, or whatever, that it could be more, but not this life, right? So that's kind of where that story came from. Take Off My Boots was a song that was kind of originated. I was at a place called Parker, and some girl that was there helped me take my cowboy boots off. And I just got to thinking, it's kind of could be an intimate thing if a woman takes off a man's boots,
Mm-hmm.
not in a bad way. And so I got to thinking about my wife, because she wasn't with me and stuff. And I was like, and that's kind of where that, honey, only you can take off my boots. It's kind of a romantic cowboy type song.
I can see that.
Yeah. And then there's Eye of the Hurricane. The fiddle on that was actually recorded by Garth Brooks' fiddle player. I sent the tracks out to him, and he laid down all that violin work on there. Only charged me $125. Never talked to him. He doesn't know me. I don't know him. But that's kind of how you can get things done in this day and age. You just send files all around. Hey, I'll pay you $300. Lay the bass line down on this or whatever.
There you go.
Yeah.
A lot more quicker, and I do that a lot often these days. Send a file, send it back. Yeah, a lot faster.
You get the pro to do it and gets it off your plate. That way I can just focus on writing the song, and then I leave the great musicianship to those that I know that can do it, because I can't do everything. And so that song was kind of interesting because it was totally fiction about two people in a bar that, are toasting over a beer, but they're close, but they're so far apart, right? And so he's caught in the eye of the storm, her storm, because he's attracted to her and all that. But what was really interesting is the bridge in that song. I sent that out to that Jamie Kime guy, and he sent that solo back, and he read perfectly where that was coming from, because in the Midwest on Fridays at noon, they light off the tornado sirens. You hear them all over town just to test them, right? And he did that in that bridge. And I called him and I said, dude, that is just perfect. He goes, that's just what I was hearing. And he goes, that's exactly what they are. It's storm signals, So it came together pretty good.
And this went up during the recording?
No, he made it sound that way with his guitar work.
Oh, okay. I thought it was going off while I was doing it. It's like, that would have been better.
No. He understood what the song was about, and he just instinctively put them in there. And I was like, that's exactly what I was thinking. So we didn't talk about it. He just did it. And then it's followed up by some great fiddle work all the way through. And it's an interesting little song. None of these are like hits. I wouldn't call them commercial viable songs, but they're just songs. I write songs. I don't care about the commercial. Look at my face. I'm 64. It's a young person's game, but I can still write, and I can do everything that I would ever do if I were in Nashville, but I do it west of Nashville. And that's what the next album's about. It's kind of like, hey, na 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 na.
Right, that's your upcoming Western Nashville. We'll talk more about that. You also have Stay on the Phone and Take Me Back to Yesterday and the Renegade. And tell us more about that.
Yeah, so the Renegade this year got nominated by the San Diego Music Awards. It was up for Best Country, Best Alternative Song, or Americana Song. It didn't win, but the nomination was just as good as far as I'm concerned because they don't know me down there. There was no reason for them to nominate me. The song stood on its own, so I was very proud of that. It's a 2-minute and 38 song, very, very short song, gets to the point, gets out. It's about a club that I play out here called the Renegade, and it's a dance club, country, what do they call them? Roadhouses, right?
Mm-hmm.
It really did capture the spirit of the whole place. Everybody that's heard it goes, yeah, that's when I totally think that's how the Renegade is. So that song was successful as far as that went. The one song, Stay on the Phone, is about a cowboy chasing the gold belt buckle. And I had Lane Frost in mind. He was the young man at 25 that died in the ring in Cheyenne in late July. He jumped off the bull and he didn't jump off the back end. He went to the side. The bull turned on him and gored him right in the back, cracked his ribs and punctured his heart, and he died there in the ring. So that I've always loved Lane Frost, and so that song's kind of a fiction built upon that he's chasing this, and as soon as he gets so in the song the dad dies, right, and the son's chasing the gold buckle for his dad. Mm-hmm. And so that's kind of what the storylines. And on West of Nashville, the next album, I wrote another song. Gosh, I write these songs and I forget the name, but I wrote the sequel to it. It's called 2-Lane Highway. That's what it is. Mm-hmm. And it's about actually getting the gold buckle, and now he's coming home like he told his wife that he would. So it's kind of a sequel song.
Got it. Fun. Okay. Got it. Okay. And of course, more on Western Nashville with Redcrown Tourist Mellschear. We'll get to that in just 1 minute. You listen to the Mike Wagner Show at the MikeWagnerShow.com, powered by Sonic Web Studios, and brought to you by our official sponsor, the Mike Wagner Show, international warring author Mia Molson's They're Missing. We'll be back with the Redcrown Tourist Mellschear after this time out.
The Mike Wagner Show is powered by Sonic Web Studios. If you're looking to start or upgrade your online presence, visit www.sonicwebstudios.com for all of your online needs. Call 1-800-303-3960 or visit us online at www.sonicwebstudios.com to get started today. Mention the Mike Wagner Show and get 20% off your project. Sonic Web Studios. Take your image to the next level.
Hey everybody, my name is Forbes Riley, and I'm an American actress and a TV host. And I was delighted when I got my copy of Missing, which is Extraordinary Relation of Ordinary People based on a real life relationship. It's well written. It's amazing. You know, it talks about a man who has lost his wife and his daughter, and it's very well done. I'm going to highly recommend that you go get your copy of Missing. It is a powerful, exciting read. Mr. Mian Moshe Zia. He is the author of Missing. And I want to give a big shout out and a kiss all the way halfway around the world to my dear friend. Check him out at Mia's website. It's called www.miamoshenzea.com. Missing, available on Amazon. Again, I'm Forbes Riley, and I will see you again soon. Bye-bye.
Hey, this is Ray Powers, and boy, are you in luck. Right place, right time. Tuned in to the Mike Wagner Show. You heard me.
We're back at the multi-talented Mellschear of Redcrown Tourists here on the Mike Wagner Show, and I think we've covered a lot of the music from again, and I think, I think we covered the title track. Is that right? We talked about that?
No, actually.
We did. Okay, well, I'm glad you did. So we'll get to that right now. So go ahead.
Okay. So the title track, again, was written. My son-in-law took his own life and left my daughter and my granddaughter behind. And so the song is about her kind of learning to fly again and get going, you know, after, you know, a couple years of grieving. And it's kind of about her picking herself up and getting out there, and me kind of encouraging her to do that too. But, you know, take your time you need, but spread your wings and you're going to do fine, you know. And it's things will be good again. So that's where the song came from. And so I decided to make that the title track.
Got it. Okay. It seems like you got songs from the heart, songs from life and experiences and everything. Now back onto Weston, Nashville, and you got some songs you want to mention and talk more about those.
Yeah, so I wrote one, no kisses anymore. I really like it, and it's if you listen to it, you think that it's about two people breaking up, but actually, what it is about somebody letting go of the bottle and breaking up with alcohol. And so when I do the video to it, I'm going to get a very sexy, slinky woman to play the addiction, and they're breaking up. So you could see it as a love story, or you could see it as, somebody breaking that chain and letting that go, and then she's not happy about it, right? So she moves on and he moves on, and so it's kind of a fun little interesting story that I created. And I like to do that fiction and try to have double meanings in there.
That's really interesting. Made me think of it. Sorry, Jack, it's not you, it's me.
Yeah, exactly.
But of course, if you have Budweiser, he'd probably outsmart you.
Yeah, no kidding. And then I got another song on there called "Some Things Never Change," and I ran into a girlfriend I had 40 years ago.
Oh wow!
And I was at this bar, and this lady started talking to me, and I had no idea who she was, and she started talking about stuff in my past, and I just didn't recognize her. 40 years is a long time, and like an idiot, I said, "Are you?" And I asked her name, and the woman's going to hear that as, "Oh my God, he doesn't even know who I am. I look horrible," or whatever. Took it. And then, so I always felt like it was kind of an apology. Sorry, I didn't recognize you, but 40 years has passed, and I'm still causing you pain. I've never changed, because it wasn't a very good relationship. We broke up. She broke up with me because I just was too young and immature to be in love. But after 40 years, I went and did that, and I just thought, God, what an idiot. So I wrote this song.
Or can write a song about "Don't Do It Again."
Yeah, that'll be the next one. Don't ever do that again. So anyway, I felt bad for asking. I should have just stopped talking. That's kind of one of the lines in there. So it's going to be kind of a fun little album. But the title track is going to be "West of Nashville," and I haven't written it yet, but the idea is, I'll never make it to that shining city on the hill. It's a 10-year town. Last thing Nashville needs is another song like a hole in its head. These are ideas that I want to write about in there. But at 63 years old, I don't have 10 years. So I just got to stay planted where I'm at, and that's west of Nashville. So that's kind of what that song's going to be about. And I've got a bunch of stuff that I'm waiting to have guitar work done, and a couple of them I haven't even written lyrics on yet, but I want to wait until I get the guitar work back so I can kind of hear what the song needs to be, and then so I'm kind of reverse engineering those two.
So. That sounds interesting. And where can we find all your music at, including again, and also upcoming West of Nashville and more?
So I put everything on my website. It's www.rctstar, so rctstar.com. The RCT stands for Red Crown Tourists. And then I use, for distribution, I use a thing called DistroKid. And they throw it out everywhere. And you can find both the albums I've put out on iTunes. And I think iTunes has great compression. When I listen to iTunes downloads, they sound real good through my earbuds. And that's probably how most people are listening to music these days. And it's cheaper there. So,
far cheaper. I got to say that. I mean, a lot of podcasts are coming through Apple and everything else, and it is so amazing. I'll say that too.
Yeah.
Oh, it's great stuff. So we're here with mellschear of redcrown tourists with again in the upcoming west of Nashville here on the Mike Wagner Show. We'll be playing one of his tracks at the end of the audio interview. We encourage everybody to do that. And just a few more things, Mel. What else can we expect in 2024 and beyond?
I have an overall goal of writing about 120 songs before I hang it up. And the primary reason I write is so that my grandkids and their kids and on down the line will be able to hear recordings of this guy that lived in, before their time. And maybe down the road that will inspire them to make music and keep the great tradition going. I have one of my sons is a really good frontman singer out here. And my other son plays piano, the other son plays guitar, and I have grandkids that are real good singers. So the music is starting to grow in our family,
Mm-hmm.
and that's why I do everything that I do. And so I'm just going to continue to write songs, and every time I get a slew together, I'll put them out in album form and uploaded to my website, iTunes, everywhere else, and just keep working, and maybe one day I'll write one of those commercial hits, but I ain't trying.
Well, you never know these days. It's like, don't
You-
ever doubt it. You never know. So you got some time left there, Mel. And who do you consider biggest influence in your career?
Um, I would just have to say the Lord, I know that sounds kind of cliche and stuff, but um, I I used to go to the Churches of Christ, and it's all a cappella singing. And I was one of the song leaders for the congregation. I learned a lot about music, having to lead, 300 or 400 people every Lord's Day.
Wow.
And it was all just voices. There were no instruments accompanying or anything. That's kind of the hallmark of the Churches of Christ. And just singing all the time. And just the good teachings that come from the good book, I would have to say that would be the answer to that question, I think.
I like that answer. So anybody who's looking for a church, they want to sing Church of Christ. That's a really good one. I like that. And what's the best advice you can give to anybody at this point?
Just be good. We need to be good. Like, God is good, and we need to reflect that, because he made us to be a reflection of him. And we live in a country that the original design was that life, liberty, and pursuit of happiness. Don't get entangled in foreign affairs, stay out of other people's ways. And they all base that upon the good teachings of the good book and stuff. And if you're good and you're looking out for others, it doesn't matter what they look like, what they're into, where they're from, you're going to treat them good, because we're all God's creatures, right? Doesn't matter who we are. Be the most evil, vile, rich, crazy, whatever, God still loves that person. He's going to give him every last chance before the final story is told. And so he expects us to be that way too. So I think just focusing on trying to be as good as we can. We can never be as good as God, but we can try, so that's what I would say.
You certainly got that right, and a big amen to that, Mel. So we're here with Mel Schear, redcrown tourists, with the release again upcoming west of Nashville here on the Mike Wagner Show. Mel, a very big thank you for your time. You've been absolutely fantastic. Looking forward to having you again soon. Keep us up to date. Keep in touch. We'd love to have you back. Once again, what's your website? How do people contact you? Where can people purchase or check out your works?
www.rctstar.com, rctstar.com. I'm on Facebook as Red Crown Tourist. You won't be able to find me by Mell Schear. Everything the Red Crown Tourist, just search that. I got YouTube's. And that's, iTunes, you can buy there. You can buy it off my website too. So those are kind of the primary places. And then I'm doing a lot of radio interviews, like the one I'm doing today, just trying to get out there and let everybody know, hey, I'm out here writing songs.
There you go. And once again, what's the website again?
www.rctstar, so rctstar.com.
All right. Well, certainly check that out. Once again, Mel, a very big thank you for your time. You've been absolutely amazing. Looking forward to having you again soon. Keep us up to date. Keep in touch. We'd love to have you back. We wish you all the best. And Mel, you definitely have a great future ahead of you.
Okay. Thank you, brother. Thanks for having me.
Well, they sat out the bar, laughing and toasting, talking about life and love and stuff. She told him she'd been married since she was 16. She's just a little curious about this old bar scene. Well, he looked at her sideways and knew just right then he could pick this pretty flower that would lead him to sin. So he looked in the mirror, then down at his beer, then told her the words that she didn't want to hear. You should go home where love waits for you. Yeah, you should go home before I do what I do. And it'd be good for you, and it'd be good for me if you just go home and let this thing be. She called out a rhyme, started to cry. You don't think I'm pretty and you got no desire. He took a deep breath cause he knew those were lies. This time around he put out that fire. Really brushed back her hair and said quite contrite, there's not many women that could stand and compare. But you told me you'd been married since you was 16. A pretty woman like you, well, this just ain't your scene. Well, you should go home where love waits for you. Yeah, you should go home before I do what I do. It'd be good for you, and it'd be good for me if you just go home and let this thing be. Well, she got in the car and it took her away. For the first time in his life he refused to play. Well, he thought she was pretty and he had that desire, but it'd be wrong to light up her fires. Well, she turned the key and opened the door and walked in the home that she really longed for. But the words that he told her that she didn't want to hear played over and over like a broken record. You should go home where love waits for you. Yeah, you should go home before I do what I do. And it'd be good for you, and damn good for me if you just go home and let this thing be. If you just go home and let this thing be.
The Mike Wagner Show is powered by Sonic Web Studios. If you're looking to start or upgrade your online presence, visit www.sonicwebstudios.com for all of your online needs. Call 1-800-303-3960 or visit us online at www.sonicwebstudios.com to get started today. Mention the Mike Wagner Show and get 20% off your project. Sonic Web Studios. Take your image to the next level.
Hey everybody, my name is Forbes Riley, and I'm an American actress and a TV host. And I was delighted when I got my copy of Missing, which is Extraordinary Relation of Ordinary People based on a real life relationship. It's well written. It's amazing. You know, it talks about a man who has lost his wife and his daughter, and it's very well done. I'm going to highly recommend that you go get your copy of Missing. It is a powerful, exciting read. Mr. Mian Moshe. He is the author of Missing. And I want to give a big shout out and a kiss all the way halfway around the world to my dear friend. Check him out at Mia's website. It's called www.miamotionzea.com. Missing, available on Amazon. Again, I'm Forbes Riley, and I will see you again soon. Bye-bye.
Thanks for listening to The Mike Wagner Show. Brought to you by international award-winning author Mia Mosin-Zia of Missing, and powered by Sonic Web Studios. Be sure to join us again on over 40 podcast platforms, and of course on the MikeWagnerShow.com, HamiltonRadio.net, and Diamonds FM. Don't forget to support our program with a generous donation at the MikeWagnerShow.com. Thanks for listening.